So, hello everyone. Another poem we will start today is from class 9 English, Gifts of Grace, honoring our vocations. So, this poem specifically is written by an anonymous poet. Anonymous means unknown poet, so we basically are not aware of the poet's name. So, let's go on about the stanza. First line goes, I hear Bharat celebrating the varied vocations I hear. So the poet imagines India or Bharat celebrating all kinds of professions and occupations. He can hear the contributions of different workers through their works and skills. Those of craftsmen, each one celebrating their craft woven with colors and myriad hues. So the poet praises craftspeople who create beautiful objects using many colors and shades. Their creations show their skill, their creativity, and pride. Skills, creativity, and pride. So basically, when we talk about myriad hues means countless colors. So as we know, vocations are basically a suitable work other than that professional works which we do as an educational work को हट के जो vocational होता है जो basically skill based होता है, right? So the artisans with lutes, each hailing varied emotions and celebrating dreams echoing in the streets. So the artisans and the musicians play musical instruments. Lutes are basically musical instruments. Each hailing varied emotions that express different feelings and dreams. So their music actually spreads through the streets, bringing joy and inspiration to the people. The carpenters celebrating, they create anything out of wood with mathematical precision. So carpenters are praised for their skill, accuracy, right? They carefully measure and shape wood to create useful and beautiful objects. So they are using the mathematics so precisely, so accurately, and creating wonderful objects, beautiful objects. Their work requires very much precision, right? The electricians humming, they get ready for work with cables and wires to brighten our lives. So electricians work with wires and electrical systems. Their efforts bring light, power, and comfort to people's lives. The word humming suggests the sound associated with the work. Right? Another basically stanza is the boatmen gathering their nets from the shore, sailing and singing, while at work, return to tell the tales of life at sea. So basically, the poet describes the boatmen collecting all their fishing nets from the seashore after or before their work. This highlights their hard work and connection with nature. As they sail their boats, the boatmen sing songs. So they're basically singing songs. Their singing reflects their joy, enthusiasm, and dedication to the profession. And after completing their work, they come back and share stories. The tales are basically short stories. They basically share the stories about their experiences, adventures, and challenges which they basically faced in the sea. The shoemakers affirming the quality of their work for the feet that walk, dance, run, jump, return home. So shoemakers take pride in the shoes they make and confidently stand by the quality of their craftsmanship, because it requires such a great craftsmanship to, you know, produce a kind of a shoe product or anything in general which is so like difficult and require a level of expertise and skills. Their shoes serve people in all kinds of activities like walking, dancing, running, jumping. All these activities are influenced by the kind of and the quality of the shoe they produce. And return home, the shoes help people travel safely and comfortably throughout the day and eventually return home. The delicious singing of the cook or the rhythm of designer mason, each celebrating what belongs to them and to none else. So the poet compares the cook's work to a beautiful song. To a beautiful song. The meals prepared by the cook bring happiness and satisfaction to the people. Designers and masons work with creativity, skills, and precision. Their work has its own rhythm and beauty, just like music, right? Every worker has unique talents and skills. They take pride in their own profession. Pride in own profession. Unique talents and skills. So I will suggest you all to please take a note of all the things I'm telling you, because these are very important for your exam point of view, and these pointers will just help you to answer the questions in the exam very nicely, right? Now, the very last stanza. The voice of the vocation is the voice of their identity. I hear Bharat celebrating the varied voices I hear. So a person's profession becomes an important part of what they are. Their work reflects their identity, character, and contribution to the world. The poet imagines India celebrating the many voices, talents, and professions of its people. The diversity of occupations. Diversity of occupations is a very, very important term. Is a source of national pride. Right? It is a source of national pride. So basically, whenever you talk about any poem or any story, prose, anything as such, main chapter or the main poem revolves around the central idea. So the central idea of this poem revolves around the dignity of labor and shows that every profession, whether it is an artist, technical, or manual, is important. Every profession or every worker contributes to the society to make it into a better place, right? And no profession is great or small. So the poet seriously believes that every occupation is valuable and deserves respect because each contributes to the progress and richness of society. India, the Bharat, is portrayed as a nation that honors all forms of honest work. So now when we talk about, this was it about the entire poem. It is not very difficult. It is quite easy and simple. But when we talk about its poetic devices, because again it can come in RTCs, so we need to understand the view of the poetic devices. The first is I hear Bharat celebrating. This is basically repetition, right? Because it has been repeated again and again. Here it also is repeated, right? And this can also be personification, because we are attaching human qualities to an abstract ideas, or maybe to or an identity like Bharat. Celebration, हम बोल रहे हैं कि भारत इज सेलिब्रेटिंग. दिस इज पर्सोनिफाइंग, कि हम एक ह्यूमन क्वालिटी दे रहे हैं एक एब्स्ट्रैक्ट आइडिया को. Then woven with colors and myriad hues is basically imagery. Because the poem appeals to the senses and helps readers visualize and hear the scenes described, because we can actually somehow imagine a scenario in our heads. This is what imagery is, right? And now it is your task, or it is your homework, to find out the other imagery in the poem, right? Then we have is sailing and singing, alliteration. I hope you all by now know what an alliteration is. Alliteration is basically the repetition of the same consonant sound at the beginning of the words. ठीक है? Now the next is metaphor. We need to find out where the metaphor is used. The voice of their vocation is the voice of their identity. This is metaphor, because it here is a comparison. And then there are a lot of symbolism, and this is your homework to find out which all symbolism poetic devices are used in the poem. So that was it about the poetic devices, and I shall tell you what all are the important questions. We should be ready with all these questions. So basically this can come as an RTC, Roman number 1. And the answer to the following questions is also very important. These all 6 questions are important for your examination point of view. Please try to solve these questions, and if you find any difficulty in these questions, you can reach out to me in the comment section below. Thank you and have a nice day.